Hey everyone, it's me, Kat, bringing you 64 days. I must say, I had a bit of a nap on the couch. Was quite tired, fell asleep, and I woke up because I realized I needed to make this video. And instantly I started making excuses like, oh, you're so tired, come, you've been doing so well for 64 days. Just take a break. You can record a video tomorrow. You can record one, tomorrow morning. Just be done for the day. And unfortunately, I couldn't do that. Why? Because for 64 days, I've been putting all my effort into building a habit. Now, this puts a little bit of an interesting spin. Often you will hear people talk about how, I can't remember the number, something like it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, something like 9 weeks to break a bad habit, and 12 weeks to build a lifestyle. I don't know, something like that, okay? Now, when you've gone a long period of time of doing something, I think it becomes easier to engage in that activity or to not engage in activity. I don't think it becomes super automatic and you go, oh, but I've been exercising for 6 months, surely exercise will be easier now. Sometimes things do happen. Sometimes something can throw a curveball in your life. I don't know. Maybe someone can get really sick. Maybe circumstances just doesn't go your way. Maybe, for example, with recording my videos, no internet, no electricity. Then you can't beat yourself up about it. But that's the thing. Those were very severe, not excuses, circumstances. So I think how to navigate yourself and to get there is when you're trying to build a habit to form a good lifestyle. You need to look at the type of things you try and tell yourself to get out of it. For example, I'm tired. Now, before you get to that point where you are feeling tired to say, okay, I'm tired, you need to think of counteractive or statements in your head to say, no, yes, you might be tired, exercise is going to make you feel better. Or say things like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Today's been a tough day. I really don't want to eat more vegetables. Say something like that. Then think of what you can say to yourself before that time comes. Maybe write a note. Say, I know today's been a tough day, but you want to make tomorrow better. How can you make tomorrow better? By eating more vegetables. Or this will help you not be so sick. This will give you more energy. This will boost you and you won't be as tired tomorrow in the afternoon. So think of things that you can say to yourself that you go, yes, I understand this excuse, but I'm not going to accept it. And then hopefully in that way you can counteract all those thoughts that stop you from doing the thing. Oh, work was, oh, the kids, oh. But obviously there are exceptions, because if something really bad happens, you can't be like, oh, sorry, life, I cannot go to the hospital because I've got to exercise, or, I can't do so and so because I said I'll eat more vegetables. Obviously there's always exceptions to most rules, but I'm talking about general habit forming into a good, healthy lifestyle is think of answers, because when you are still building a habit, motivation is not something you can always rely on. Motivation is, yay, whatever, but when a bad day happens, what's going to carry you is your discipline and the habit that you formed. And in order to do that, you need to know yourself, preempt yourself. I know myself enough that I know if I have to, I know myself enough that for 3 days, I have not exercised. For 3 days, I have not exercised because I've really hurt my foot. I know it takes about 2 days of skipping exercise for me to undo my exercise habit. Like knowing, okay, at this time every single day, you get up, you do exercise, you go. I know now when I start exercising, I'm going to have to put in a lot more effort because I so quickly fall out of habit of doing the things I plan, and I'm going to make excuses. So I really know this is what I'm going to happen. So I'm going to say, Catherine, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to say this and this because I know you. Haha. You're aware of yourself. I know you, but instead, this is how we're going to approach the situation. Because often we BS ourselves, and we know we're BSing ourselves, but we say, you know what, it's okay, let's get away with it. And that forms a whole new habit. By giving yourself excuses and saying and accepting them and saying, oh, it's okay, you're building a habit of making excuses and getting out of it. Where the longer you do something, you will see that if you build the habit of saying no to excuses, you will constantly do the action you set upon. I hope this makes sense. Everything is habit forming. It's crazy. I mean, what did I notice the other day? Yes. On Monday, we had my boyfriend for our anniversary, made chicken wings. And we each had a plate because we'd been snacking on like built-on quite high protein things. But by the time the evening came, we weren't actually very hungry. And I had 3 chicken wings left over in my plate. And I was full. And I didn't want to eat it. But a habit that I had formed over very many years, that of a child, where you are forced to finish what's on your plate, because otherwise it's disrespectful or so forth or so forth. I had only 3 chicken wings on my plate. And instead of taking them and putting them away, going, oh, I'll have them later, or there's only 3, I can stop. Yeah, I forced myself to eat those 3, and I felt a little bit sick. That had nothing to do with addiction. It was just a bad habit I had formed. And now I am aware of it. I have gone, wow, this is a habit I have. I'm aware of it. I can now focus on counteracting the excuses my mind will automatically think of. Sometimes the excuses happen so quickly, especially if you've been forming this habit for such a long time. You don't even notice it. So I'll go, okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking if you don't finish what's on your plate, you're wasting, but you're not. And even if you are, you can rather waste a little bit than eat yourself sick, because eating those 3 chicken wings is doing more harm to your body than not. And there's always other solutions. You can save it for later. You can give it to the dogs. You can give it to someone who might need it. So now already I've given myself solutions to problems that my mind will think of, and instantly I've got an action plan to change my bad habit into a good habit. And eventually I'll gauge, because I don't always know how hungry I am. Generally, when it comes to food, I'll eat enough and I'm satisfied. Some days I'm barely hungry, and some days you've got a massive appetite. So you can't always expect yourself to know how much exactly do you need. Some days you might be ravenous and you need to have those 3 chicken wings extra, and sometimes you aren't and you can have those 3 or 4 less. So engaging that takes some time, especially if you are losing weight or building new habits or changing the way you eat, changing your lifestyle. Your body's adjusting, because you can't go and say, okay, I'm used to eating 1 plate of, let's say, chicken wings and fries, and now you've changed it to chicken and broccoli. That plate might look completely different when it comes to portion size, because the content is different. So you've got to learn what you're doing. If you're maybe changing, you're trying something new. Maybe that week, instead of having chicken, you're having fish. Oh, but fish doesn't always keep you as full for long, so you maybe got to have more fish or add something else to it. So it's all about gauging and learning how to listen to your body and counteracting those excuses. You've got to learn what's an excuse and what's your body's natural reaction. And it's complicated, guys. I mean, if you've grown up in a household where you were made to be conscious of what you're eating and healthy foods and exercising and so forth, maybe it's been bred into you. You know these are the ways it's supposed to be. But growing up the way I think a lot of people did, where there wasn't so much awareness of what you're eating, how much you should eat, you should have this amount of portion of carbs and vegetables and so forth, because that food pyramid we learned at school is, that's how you're supposed to eat, but not really. So to learn all these things and to adjust it into your eating lifestyle, well, that takes time, takes dedication, takes discipline, because motivation is not there every day. Okay, I think I said a bunch of stuff today and I'm feeling a bit more awake. I want to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 65. Bye!